Hello everyone, welcome back to Roll with this unbelievable run we have going on with just all the dice in the world. Just a tiny smidge of admin before I kick off. I put this video up, the part 1 to this, 80% off everything, as number 12, even though I'd already done a number 12. So I'll put this up as 12 part 2, and then in like a couple of weeks I'll make it 13. And no one will ever have to know that I screwed up. But you guys get to know that now. So, at the end of last episode, I rolled down to exactly 1250, so we were exactly half. And we had some extra cash hanging around. So, my intent now is to come in, spend all of this on anything else that wants to be purchased, which right now I don't even know where I would put glue if I were to buy it, so I'm going to spare myself buying it right now. Take the free reroll, and we're just going to buy everything that we can here, starting with a single face multiplier dice. So that's going to go, and they're just going to carry all the way around in a square now. A copy of a single dice is too expensive for what I can imagine it would be worth, but I'll take all this stuff in the middle row. We'll start filling out more of these ones on the external dice that we've purchased. And then after that's all done, it's going to be a process, I think, of just gaining some cash, coming back, re-rolling the shop, spending it all. Because I could do it one purchase at a time, but that's probably going to translate to one roll at a time. So if we refresh, I definitely want 100 times multiply, because this is 100 times the number of dice that we have. So that's like 100 times 100 is like 10,000 a pop or something. I'll take a 22 numeric face, sure, that can go over a 1. Wild cards. And so now we're at this situation where, obviously, I want to add these modified dies and all this stuff, but it's so expensive. But if I right-click it to flag that I want to purchase that, and then come back to rolling, well, that was actually a fair chunk of rolls to afford that. Here I was getting all ahead of myself that everything was going to be about one roll a piece to purchase it. And then we'll take another 42 million to get the next one. So that's 20 rolls since we came back. Then we've got multi-face, most common roll times whatever this is. We're going to need more money. And then we also have set all die faces to a number. So we'll have to decide what die face we want to populate. Probably whatever number is closest to 99, right? So 6 times double rerolls. I am going to put up. Is that what where I want it? I think so. Number of dice times 100. Is that what I just purchased? No, it's that one. So many. I clicked on a die face as I was trying to scroll around. Wonderful developer, if you are watching, when I click to drag, don't register my click as putting my thing somewhere. That way I don't accidentally put it places. But it's fine. It's not going to be the end of the world on this run for sure. But with this cheaper stuff, it's one click, purchase, come back, one click. Oh no, we have enough to afford that. Right, all these are 89s already. I did that a long time ago apparently. Lots of all 99s. Let's take this die here with 35 and 45. We'll make those all 99s. Let me right click, come back to our dice, roll a few, pick up a cool 20 mil, And this is basically what we can expect for the next 1200 rolls, I imagine. Just watching this net of dice grow and grow and grow to an unbelievable scale. So I've purchased everything we want. Get our reroll. The heavyweights we certainly want to add to those 100x multipliers. And I'll be very careful about zooming around. So that's going on there. If we can get some rerolls on that too, it would be very welcome. I'll take more die. Prime dies, die with numbers less than 13. I'll take all that stuff. And what I think I might do, to save myself switching back and forth between the two screens quite as regularly as I currently am, is maybe roll in batches of 25 or something. Because for individual rolls like this, 121 million? That's a big one. It's going to be lots and lots of backs and forths, which is not going to be the most efficient way to earn points. I too entirely concede. But otherwise, we will be watching the panning back and forth for hours. And who knows, maybe some of you guys would like that. Certainly after the last video, many of you had lots and lots of wonderful comments. We're putting on a kilogram weight somewhere. But on what? I really don't know. Do you have a weight? You do now. Right, we'll take a wild card. The more wild cards we have, and the bigger this set of die get, the more likely the wild card is to appear and to be mirroring something else that's really high value elsewhere. We'll see if we've got anything else that we want to set to 99s or their nearest equivalent. Let's see. We'll bring these all up to 50, shall we? No, let's bring these to 89. There you go. I think that was the one that was all primes from a moment ago. I'm pretty sure I could be using tab to get back between these two screens. My hand just doesn't have the muscle memory for it. There's a free reroll. Right, let's roll down to like 1/150. There's 226 million to spend. Not the most efficient, but I'm fine with that sacrifice. Oh goodness, where do I want a weight? A long time ago I should have implemented some kind of a system. Let's put it here. That guy, every 50 times it's rolled, will make another dice. We'll take 6 incrementers on something very small, like this, because that's gonna have those get bigger and the numbers on them get larger as they appear. Sorry, that described an incrementer. What I mean to say is that this dice here has times 5s and times 10s, so as those numbers increment larger and re-roll more often, the multipliers are going to have a greater impact as well. Kilogram. There, sure, why not? The number 8. The number 8 is bigger than the number 1. That's just a free little life tip for you guys. And then the rerolls. I'm going to put the rerolls on the die breeders so that we can try and get more dice more quickly. Then we just have to roll for another wild card. And the die breeder is doing a lot of work there. All of these plain dice here. Right, another free reroll. More dice. Add a reroller die. I'll take them. I'm going to need some more cash, but I'll do it. Let's see how we do going down to 1100. Oh no, we got there way faster. In part, I had forgotten that I had clicked the flag. I do concede. Right, we'll buy that guy. They could be candidates for ones to move closer into the center. Right, let's get more incrementers. And then we have to find somewhere to put that. Do we have one of these ones that's all ones? Yeah, like this guy. All ones, times 5s and times 10s. Those numbers will just get way bigger. Then let's swap die positions. And we'll move this one full of reroll directions. And I've never used one of these before, so let's hope it's as obvious as it seems. And where are we going to put it? Why not here? Yep, that was as obvious as one would expect it to be. Right, let's roll down a bit more. And then we'll spend what we've got. We've gained another free reroll for passing the 100 mark. Although a lot of this stuff is getting way more expensive now, which you would expect. Two rerolls on something. Do you have rerolls? Die breeder. You do now, and that was the one with the weight. I always forget that it's not always going to be the face. It's not always going to be a 6-face upgrade. Sometimes it is indeed just a single face rather than times 6. It's just the individual instance of itself. Right, we're going to need a lot of cash for these bigger ones now. We're going from 90 to 85 to rock up nearly 100 million to spend. 60 million, not as much. You can go up. Why can't I do the one in the corner? I wonder. I assume there's nothing particularly special about that dice, is there? No? Strange. Right, last thing on this round of shopping. We're making so many dice now. The die breeders are all cashing in after... They give you a new dice after they've been rolled 50 times, so I imagine if you have a 6-sided die that is evenly weighted and you just keep rolling it, odds are those 6 sides will pay out at roughly the same time after the initial purchase. When this gets to be square again, we'll have a count, see how many we're working with right now. That's going to be another 5, that's going to be another 2. So we want to get up to kind of 300 million, although I flagged it now, haven't I? There's lots to be working with. Although after buying that, not so much. There's 5 more dice. Right, ignoring this one at the top, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13 by 12. 12 squared is 144, plus 13 is 157, plus this one over here is 158 dice. I think I once neared 200 on a run, and I can imagine with still 1,000 plus rolls to go, we'll probably get there. Void die. I don't think we've seen many of these yet. Replace a die face of your choice with a void face. When rolled, this face will have no value. When this face is not rolled, it multiplies the value of the rolled face by 2. Consumes all existing weights on the die. A die with a void face cannot be weighted. So there's probably some incredibly superior place to put that. Not that I'm going to be able to pick it out from all of what's going on right now. So we're going to kind of want 200, 300, 400 million to buy everything that we have here. Let's roll down to 1,000. It's 139 million, so it's nowhere close, really. Right, what can we afford? We can afford 6 rerolls. Right, do we have any other die breeders that aren't currently rerolling? I think those are die breeder adders. We don't need to swap anything right now, I don't think. Let's take a 5x previous roll multiplier. That's going to be massive on something. What? I'm not so sure. So, after it's rolled, after a roll, if this appears, the previous roll will be worth 5 times that number. So really, we probably want it on something that has the same 100x everything that exists here. So we'll put that there. Then since I don't think that 100xer has a weight on it yet, perhaps we'll put the void die on that as well. So that was, oh, I'll never find it again. Here. Yeah, there's no weight on this, so we'll make that a void, so when the other 2 appear, it'll be a huge payout. I don't want to swap anything. We'll find somewhere to put a weight, I'm sure, although I'm starting to wonder the specific value of weights at this point. Do you have a weight? You do have a weight. Round and round we go. Where I stop, nobody knows. Let's do another one of these 20% chance at 1/4 extra of the value of the entire thing. And set all dice. We must have something worth setting to a big value somewhere. Even if it's just this 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Yeah, let's do that. Right, I'm not interested in changing positions. Right, we're getting really expensive now. This is 2 billion, although I don't really need to add a copy of something. I will add a lotto die. Now, I might actually start to get a little choosy about what we purchase. We don't need a key. I will take a 10x multiplier on something. Is it just going to be a 99? No, it's not. What we're going to do is we're going to zoom in. So this one already has a 10x. These guys already have 5x, so I'm not really improving anything that much by putting them there. I think this has to be a numeric face, doesn't it? Only affects numeric faces, that is correct. In that case, that will have to do, I think. We can get an incrementer for another individual face somewhere. With 952 rolls to go, it's got a good chance of making good value for itself. Then single face 4x, 2 times. Let's just roll another like 12 rolls. And more die being created almost every roll, it seems. So 2x multiplier on a 99 somewhere. Right, a 97 will do. I'm sure I could find the 99, but I will go blind if I keep having to squint this much. 4x. So this replaces a whole face, so we don't care where it goes, really. 10 times the most populous face. And the other thing to consider is, at what point do I just start rolling for score? Because I can't keep shopping forever, as much as I would like to. There's always got to be some point in every run that becomes the ideal moment to stop buying and start just rolling down to 0. Right, I don't want a key, I don't want to clone something, I don't want to move something. Adds a single face multiplier die, adds a modded die. I want more dice. I always want more dice. And that alone was about another 6, I think. Glue, I'm not that invested in. I will take a number 6 and I will put it on a number 1 somewhere. Although maybe I should be doing the 2s. I guess at this point the 2s probably have just as much a likelihood of rolling and being the most populous number as the 1s, so maybe it's not that big a deal. Replaces a die face of your choice with a multiplier. When rolled, this face will be the value of all dice times 2. That's going to want a weight, I think. I think that's going to want a weight. That is very expensive. We're quickly getting through those rolls faster than I thought I would. Right, I'm going to try and put this next to this re-roller here. And then as soon as we find a weight, I will try and remember to go back for that. 10x on something very large. Why not that 89? Keys I don't care about. I'll buy a 79. I'll replace a 79 on an... Is it just that I can't click the die faces that are that close to the score? It might be. There might be a dead zone around the score that you can't click through. Worth keeping in mind. Now, this reroller, I'm going to try and find that ×2 that I just purchased. There it is. And then we'll take this ×5. And we'll stick it... Oh, that's the 2. That's me being dumb and not reading things before I purchase them. Right, we are going to add glue. We're going to add glue to that ×2 that we just purchased. So that if it gets re-rolled by itself or by the dice in proximity to it, it stays facing up. That's going to be very good for us, I think. I don't want the key. And with 3 free re-rolls, I think I might just be a little bit choosier about buying out everything in the shops. Although we are going to want this 100. We are going to want this kilogram. But something that I said last time I think is kind of holding true in that I wondered if this would ever really start developing huge rolls at any point, or if it would just kind of be a slow trickle up in the hundreds of millions rather than the billions or the trillions, which I think is likely to stay that way. Let's put this here next to this re-rolling dice. I want to see this as many times as possible. To that end, let's put another re-roller dice right in its proximity. I wonder how many that is now. Right, locking I don't care about. 5 times the previous roll definitely seems worthwhile. Let's put that... If I put it here, it's not going to show up very often because as soon as the 2 rolls, it's got glue on it, I think. Unless the weight has overridden the glue. No, it has glue and the weight, so I don't think that's going to work out. So let's put it here on this 100x. I'll buy a 5x, put that just about anywhere. Now 222 million. It's not that far off of what we've already got, so we can probably afford to roll down to that. Making more dice all the time. Now, 500 million for a modified dice. I'll take it, because if we can get some incrementers, that'll totally be worthwhile. Yeah, that was a good number of rolls to get to there. Right, let's start being a little choosier. I will add a lotto die, because the 4-leaf clover will impact all the other lottos that we have currently populating the board. I really like, you can see there's kind of a 7x7 grid in the center where all of the big action early happened and the rest is just all plain dice on the outside. Do I want a die with faces 44 through 99? think so. And it's just going to grow more dice as I try to roll up to it. There's 2 more. As we drop down under 800 rolls. So it's taken us 30 minutes to do 450 rolls. Although I will concede, the time is flying by. Right, we must want a kilogram somewhere. Is there any on this dice breeder? There is. Oh, I could be here for days. Do you have one? You do as well. It's going to get to the point where just about everything is going to have a weight on it. Let's do you. Right. I'm going to start worrying about things that multiply rather than just standard die faces. Things that multiply our entire total, things that multiply by the number of faces shown, the number of dice that we have. That's where I'm gonna put my weight now, I think. $1.4 billion for a wild card, I think, is too much. Place the die face of your choice with a multi-face multiplier. When rolled, this face will have the number of the most common roll times the number of occurrences times 10. So that the most common roll is probably going to be 1. The number of occurrences could be, say, 10. Times this number, 10, is only going to be worth 100 to me, which is not a whole lot at this point. So I think I'm going to get through some of these free rerolls and look for better opportunities. Like 6 incrementers I definitely want, because we bought the die of 1 and multipliers earlier, which we want to be growing. Which I think I see down here on the bottom row. I think it's this guy, yeah. You get a load of incrementers. I'll take a Lotto die adder. I'll take these smaller die first. I'd love to know how many dice I've gotten through purchase versus how many have just been bred. I want a Lotto die adder, and then I want to put a weight on that. And let's try and put it in proximity of something that re-rolls. $188 million for a kilogram weight. That went up here somewhere. I think it was that one. Not too much love lost if it wasn't. Right, looking for more big interesting stuff. The number 44 is pretty interesting, but it's not that big. Single face multiply die. Add face value to itself. And none of these are feeling that interesting anymore in the wealth of what's already occurring. So So we'll keep shopping down to about 500 million. Sorry, down to 500 rolls. And then from there we'll consider how much more shopping we want to do versus just rolling down and seeing what kind of score we can post. I'll take a 99 de-incrementer, given that we have the cash for it immediately. 10x on 99s is not going to do that much work for us, I don't think. Adds an incremented die, adds a die with faces of 10. Take those. We'll probably want the previous reroll times 5 as well. And something I would like to see. So we currently have 6 clovers on the board. So when we roll lotteries, 40%, 75%, 7.5%. So the percentages are getting a lot higher because of the presence of so many clovers, but it's not nearly enough to guarantee any kind of success yet. I don't know if there would be a number of clovers you would need to have rolled every turn to guarantee lottery payouts, because if you could get there with the 77,777 rolls, you'd certainly be on for a winner at that point, I'm sure. Right, we want 5 times the previous modifier. If we can get 2 more dice to be created, there's 1, there's 2. How's our total die total working out right now? We will count as soon as I put this down somewhere. Here. Take me back to my field of dice, good sir. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 by 16. My mental arithmetic is not that good, so let's double check. What do we say? 17 by 16. 272 dice. I think we're well past any run that I've done before regarding the highest number of dice I've seen in a single run. But we'll keep going. We will keep shopping. 10 times the previous roll multiplier is very good. We will also... Now, 1.5 billion for a die breeder is a lot. So I'm going to start with the 10x previous roll modifier, the kilogram weight, and the 3 times reroller, and strategically try and put the 3 of those somewhere specific so that they can do good work for us. That's what, another 14 dice just in the time of doing that roll. So 10 times the previous roll. Let's put it on this guy with the times 100 number of dice up in the top right corner. Then we want 6 times rerolls for it. And by that, of course, I mean 3 rolls for it on all 6 die faces of that dice. If you haven't noticed yet, I will completely and indiscriminately change my use of die and dice for no reason. And if it annoys you, I apologize. And if you hadn't noticed yet, and now you have noticed, I'm really sorry. Because my brain can never get the one it wants when I think about all of my dice or a singular die face. Because I do know the difference. My brain just can't pull it out without really having to consider it hard. Right, I'm going to put this weight on this 10 times previous roll with that 100 times on there. And I'll take a die adder. I'll put that in proximity of that re-roller we just purchased. We probably want a 2x, although that's 1.4 billion. It's getting really expensive now. And do we want to pay 1.5 billion for breeders that might not have a chance to pay themselves off? If they pay out every 50 dice rolls, and there are 6 faces, then for each one to individually pay out, it's going to be 50 dice rolls times 6 faces is every 300 rolls. So if you can buy them before 600 rolls, we could expect each face to pay out twice. So going from 648, let's see how many rolls it takes to get 1.5 billion to buy them. That would be 46 rolls. Now, do I think this is best where 1.5 billion to be spent is? I think I'm going to buy the 2x instead. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on this dice that has the 10 times previous roll modifier on it. And just kind of supercharge that particular dice. And then we'll re-roll past these breeders, I think. Anything else I really want? I want this proximity re-roller next to that giant die for re-rolling up here. The more re-rolling that can happen to that, the better. So that is this dice, so I'll put it there. $243 million for a lottery face. Re-rollers. 600 million for a die with faces 94 through 99. I think I'm going to start considering rolling out. I'll take a 2 times previous roll. That can go somewhere of value, I'm sure. In fact, I'm just going to supercharge that die up there. Now, did any of that have a weight on it yet? The 10x does. And there's a 2x on this side, so I'm actually going to put the weight on this 3x re-roller there. What is quite amusing to me is that compared to the start of the game, this +1, which would probably be worth 30 or 40 at the beginning, is now worth 1.4 million in its own right. That is very amusing. So this 3x re-roller there. Add a dice with 2, add a single face multiplier. Single face multiplier, modified die. I'll take a 50x because 50 times 250 is a lot of good value. Still forever creating more dice. I'd love to see a leaderboard that, like, divide the leaderboard up into, you have leaderboard for score and then leaderboard for just number of dice produced in its entirety. Right, 50x. I'm actually going to put that here and just kind of really overdo that die. I'll also take the 20% chance at 1/4 of the entire value of the roll. And then I think once we get down to 500, I will consider just rolling down a bunch. We might check some of the free rerolls for anything really spectacular. But otherwise, I think we've seen about as much of this as we're going to get. So I want the 6 times rerollers up here. What did I just buy that I wanted it on? Well, it should definitely go here, right? This wants way more opportunities to proc itself. And the 4x multiplier, 3.4 billion. Alright, we'll make this and a weight possibly the last things that we buy. That took about 60 rolls. This is probably operating at a loss now, but we'll try. We'll stick it here, then we'll get that weight as well. A steel at 354 million. Of course I've only gone and lost it. It was the 4x I was going to do, wasn't it? Which is going to be worth more, 4x or 5 times the previous roll when this procs. Probably go with the 4x. That said, is a wild inherently going to be worth more than a 4x is going to be worth? I think so. I kind of neglected the wilds as soon as I buy them. It just kind of left my mind that they might be important. Right, I will get the 50x die quantity multiplier, because 50 times whatever the number of dice we have now is a vast, vast number. Trying to keep it up here near what I will now dub Reroll Village. Alright, I'm going to call it there, I think. He says, thinking about buying a 30 times die face multiplier. Because those are going to be where most of our money must be made, surely. There. And then I just wanted to, before we even think about buying anything else, this popped off a lot and I was wondering if there was any particular... No, maybe it wasn't that. That's only about 20,000. I just want to know where our biggest value is coming from. I don't think any of them have kind of millions and millions in their rolls. It's just literally lots of instances of 4,000 here, 8,000 there. Right, so any of this are we buying? I don't think so. We have no free rerolls, and I'm certainly not able to spend 2 billion on a reroll. So let's march our way down to 400. See how many more die we can get in the way. So we have 1 here. in the corner. Let's see how big these lines get before we get down to 400. Alright, that's a whole line, a whole row. 6 billion in the tank. 10 times previous roll multiplier could be good, but for 2 million of our 6 billion, that is a big investment now. Anything else that piques my interest? Die breeders, it's too late for you now, I'm afraid. Let's go down to 300. See how far up these walls we can climb with even more dice. We're going to get all the way up. We did get all the way up. Right, 14 billion. So you can kind of estimate that we might get to like 50 billion by the end of this run. Adds 10 dice for 8 billion. Again, I don't think at this point it's worth the cost. Maybe I'm wrong, and if you think I am, please let me know where you might have gone differently on this run as we march down to 200. There's definitely a lot of score being generated here and around the center. Right, 25 billion now. Even just panning between one screen and the next takes a lot of effort. Again, a lot of this stuff could have been good a while ago, but I think I am just going to commit now to rolling down to one roll, and then of course we have to count the die. We have to count how many dice we've accumulated through this whole process over the last near hour. Which is unbelievable. Oh, we flew past 100. Let's not zone out when we're going down towards 0. Yeah, 10 dice for 15 billion. 10x would have been really good, but that's our entire value. 36 billion out of 37 billion. I just can't bring myself to do it at this point. So let's very carefully roll down to like 10, and then even more carefully get down to 0 after that. So we're working across that top line. It's 20, 19, 13, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, let's count up the tally. Across the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 by 23, less 2 after that. Let's see what that gets us. 527 dice. unless we hear one spawn after doing this final reroll. We did 528 dice. That is quite a lot. We beat my previous high score by about 14 billion. Sure, that's not going to be super good on the leaderboards at this point. I'm sure they are just full of people with scientific notation scores up at the top. We are in 521st. That's not bad. But yeah, it's going to be, I imagine, a couple of hundred people. Oh no, we've got 83 people working on scientific notation. And there we are down at 521. But hey, thank you ever so much for joining me for this ridiculous run. More interesting experiments and hopefully high-scoring runs to come. Thank you for all the kind words on the previous part of this video. It means a lot to me. Thank you to all of those that you have liked the video or subscribed or checked out anything else I've made. There's lots of it. And I will see you in the next one. Cheers.